This is a complete step-by-step guide to romancing Yrliet in Warhammer 40K Rogue Trader, one of the trickiest romances in the game, and the only one you can fail with a single touch. I'll walk you through every dialogue that matters, every point you need to grab, and every trap you need to dodge.
For Janus!
I am not your Zing's pet monkey.
The romance is available to a Lord Captain of either gender, and it's built on a deep spiritual connection. So the ground rules are simple. Whatever you do, don't touch her, don't hint at intimacy, and don't compliment her looks.
Elantark, please understand that I do not find Monkey attractive.
Also keep in mind she'll leave you in chapter 4 if your rogue trader turns out to be a heretic. Companion progression in this game runs on flag points, which you earn by picking specific dialogue options. For this video, two types of flags matter. The key romance flag for Yrliet is accordance. For the true romance you need 6 out of 7 points. Its opposite is the Too Mon-keigh flag, and that one will be dodging the entire run. Then there are personality flags, which decide how a companion's personal story ends. Yrliet has two: Path of Damnation and Path of the Warrior. In this video we are taking the Path of the Warrior, but I'll also point out what changes if you go down the Path of Damnation instead. And one last thing, depending on your choices, some of the events in this guide may happen in a different order, so use the timestamps to jump to the part you need. Let's get started. The first meet Yrliet on Janus, and can recruit her after talking to the governor. How you resolve the local mess has no effect on the romance. A couple of warp jumps later, our fiery redhead storms onto the bridge to complain that some woman propositioned her.
Every day, I feel as if I am caught in a trap, surrounded by a pack of wild animals.
We apologize, say that this doesn't make humans animals, and promise to help her make sense of why people act the way they do. Yrliet replies that she doesn't need it, she already sees and hears more than any monkey, but agrees anyway. A few lines later we ask what exactly she sees that we don't. She promised to come back with an answer and glides off. The romance has officially begun. If you missed the chance to start it in this conversation, just walk up to her on the bridge and say you've been thinking about that talk. Sometime later, Yrliet comes to the bridge to discuss our question. She asks us to comprehend the world of Lilaethan and to speak its name slowly and with care. We pronounce it with our eyes closed, say we think we are beginning to understand, that we now see deeper than the outer guise of things, and know the uniqueness of every creature. Yrliet then asks whether we see her as just another monkey. There are only 2 correct answers here. Pick one, grab +1 accordance, and move on. Right after that we head to Yrliet on the bridge. She is by all appearances meditating. Don't try to get her attention in any way. That's a quick way to catch a few Too Mon-keigh points, or to break the romance outright. We simply sit down next to her and wait, which earns us +1 accordance, and Yrliet is pleased we didn't disturb her. The line "in the future you will answer me at once" also ruins the romance, so we leave her be and get back to business. Later on, Elantark walks into their quarters and finds Yrliet already there, standing by a strange shard on the wall. Pretty much any option in this dialogue is fine, except drawing your weapon, obviously. Then she turns her attention to the shard, and the game runs a hidden fellowship check. We need that option for another +1 accordance. The very first reply in the list adds a Too Mon-keigh point instead. Yrliet then leaves our quarters without bothering to explain anything. Classic. A couple of jumps after events of Dargonus, Yrliet comes to our quarters again, to apologize for her dark kin, and to offer help lifting the weight off our shoulders. Don't push the curious to see what's inside my head angle that ruins the romance. We let her lead us to the pool and begin the dive inward. We wander through our soul, looking at reflections of how our conviction has developed. The final vision is Yrliet herself, standing by the shard. Any reply involving physical contact ruins the romance, so we keep our hands in check and collect 1 more accordance point. That wraps up the romance events of chapter 2. Finish your business and head off to the Dark City. When exactly you find Yrliet depends on your party composition, but honestly it doesn't matter. She will be waiting near the entrance to the pit, surrounded by Drukhari trying to break her spirit. We tell her we'll help her find her path again, and take another accordance point. After the arena, Yrliet asks to talk in the local hub.
You came back from the dark, Elantark? Unharmed.
She pulls us aside and comes clean. She knew it was a trap, and she's sorry. We forgive her. Then she shares her real problem. She can no longer meditate. We admit we can't fix that, but promise to stay by her side. One more accordance point in the pocket. Once inside the Spire of the Reaving Tempest, we first head right and find an Aeldari lying on a slab. We talk to him and pick any persuasion check. Then comes the fork. One line here gives a Path of the Warrior point, another Path of Damnation. Finish off the seer and move on. First down the left staircase, toward a small chessboard. Here Yrliet starts losing her grip on reality. Any skill check will snap her out of it. Fun fact. This is the only moment in the entire game where you can touch the Aeldari and get away with it, an agility check to slap her back to her senses. Once she's herself again, we learn the board hosts the soul of a Farseer. We ask what she taught Yrliet and pick a line depending on our chosen path. The board can either be destroyed or taken along. We head back up the same way, take the right staircase down, and move toward the wets. One of them holds another seer. We free him either by smashing the capsule or by pressing the lightning button. You won't get a coherent answer out of him, and the moment his mind clears, he dies. No flags here. Further right, a fight awaits. Right after it, a voice from a cage above asks to be let out. We flip the switches and talk to yet another Farseer. If we brought the chessboard along, he'll help put that tormented soul to rest. We learn more about the fate of Yrliet's kin. If you've been steering our red hat down the Path of Damnation, Yrliet will want to shoot the Farseer. What to do with him is up to you. Onward to Chapter 4. The moment we return from Commorragh, the crew drags Yrliet onto the bridge, demanding judgment. It's enough to either ask her to apologize or remind everyone who's in charge around here. Then we talk to Yrliet. She asks what we think of her after everything. Any of the first three options gives +1 accordance. When we reach the Nameless Star system, we learn that Winterscale has declared open season on the Aeldari. Yrliet reminds us she's searching for her kin, and they are right here. We agree to help. After winding through the jungle maze and reaching Caligos, we tell him we are here to settle this peacefully. If you decide to join the Aeldari hunt instead, Yrliet leaves the party. Pick Winterscale up, return to camp, and once again try to talk him into a peaceful solution, then head to the Aeldari. After hearing out why they attacked this world in the first place, we turn to Yrliet and pick the line matching our path. Then we address Caligos and finally convince him to leave the Janus alone. If you attack, Yrliet fights on the Aeldari side. Then it turns out reinforcements are coming to help the Aeldari, an entire ship packed with Janus. We pick one of two lines depending on our path. Yrliet insists on performing a ritual, and there is no talking her out of it. During the ritual something goes wrong, and she starts crying out our name. If you don't interrupt, Yrliet loses her memory. She forgets you, everything that happened, and the romance along with it. So we interrupt the ritual and find ourselves inside Yrliet's soul. Once we reach the Spirit Stone, the ritual breaks and we are thrown back out. But there is a catch. Yrliet's Spirit Stone is shattered, it can't be repaired, and no one can give her a new one. If you have more warrior points, Yrliet manages to contact the ship and convince them not to start a war with humanity. On the Path of Damnation, she fails to persuade them. At the end of the dialogue, we promise to stay by her side and help find a new Spirit Stone. Near the end of the chapter, Yrliet comes to our quarters, radiant, thanking us for everything we've done. She can meditate again, and it turns out she doesn't need a Spirit Stone for it anymore. Now, in gratitude, she invites us to visit her soul.
And this road, this moment, I wish to spend with you. Not as a human and a child of Azurion, but as equals.
Then she asks,
"Will you let me walk this lifelong road with you?"
And that's where the romance events end. How the story of Elon Tag and the Outcast ultimately concludes, we'll find out in the epilogue. Let me know in the comments which companion romance to break down next, and subscribe so you don't miss it. See you next time!